Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. We're about to get started. Any moment here, just letting everybody in. Okay. Seems like everybody. Jill, if you'd like to get started, we'll kick this off.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meditation Town Hall this glorious Sunday. It's beautiful here, but 90 degrees. So my name is Jill Thomas, and I live in Lake in the Hills, Illinois. It's a little village community in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I'm a longtime Hatha yoga practitioner and teacher for over 25 years. I began studying with Lama Surya around 2005 when I attended a 5-day retreat in Austin. And since then, I've been to many of the Infinity Foundation retreats and read many of Lama's books. But I had not attended an in-person retreat until March of 2020, the retreat in California that was canceled last year due to COVID. So just as I was beginning to take the next step in my practice, the opportunity was gone. So when the Sunday meditation town halls began, alas, I had a support to my practice that I wholly took advantage of. I try to be here every Sunday. I've been a member of the Dzogchen Foundation since 2019 and have been able to make a few small additional donations since then. And that's what I'd specifically like to address here in this small talk. So over the last few years, my family's financial situation changed, and I felt like my small contributions would not make much of a difference. I couldn't give as much as I wanted to or felt I should. A smaller amount did not feel worthy of what I was receiving. But of course, it is not the amount of money I'm giving, it is just the act of giving itself. So I hope that many of you who have also taken part in these town halls, whether you're on Facebook or through Zoom, can see the value in supporting Lama Surya and the Dzogchen Foundation. If you have not done so, please check out the website, dzogchen.org. You'll find information about Lama's books and videos, podcasts, and much, much more. If you're not a member and would like to be, the Connect tab is on the upper right corner of the home page, and there you'll find information on membership and other ways to be a part of this wonderful community. There's also a Donate tab on the home page if you would like to contribute, as I have. Memberships start as low as $9 a month, and once you're a member, you'll have access to special programs, discounts to all events and retreats, as well as supporting the scholarship program in our community Sangha. If you are here for the first time through either Zoom or Facebook, I hope you feel welcome. If you have returned, something brought you back. Is it Lama's great wisdom, or perhaps his great sense of humor, or maybe his wonderful stories that make us laugh? Or maybe you feel a connection or a questioning to what all of this is about, especially if you are new. In returning, you must have found value in what you have found and experienced. From years teaching yoga, I know everyone comes to a first class for so many different reasons. But when they return, they all tell me over and over again, it is the sense of community they feel, the sense of family, just the shared interests that they feel together as a group that they may not get in their own family or even with their friends. And we all need that. The things that deserve to be preserved and carried on need to be supported in a way that is more than just showing up. An organization such as the Dzogchen Foundation needs to be able to grow and thrive, just as we do. I hope that you can find it within to give through membership or donation and to show appreciation for what you have received. I hope that, like me, you can know how important it is to support this organization. Thank you so much for your time. And now Lama will begin.
Thank you very much, Jill. Thomas from the Heartland near Chicago. And I used to go there every year and lead a retreat at Infinity Foundation. Now we're doing it virtually at the end of June. Check it out on my schedule if you want to participate. Thank you, Jill. And yoga and meditation go together so well. Practicing yoga mindlessly don't help as much as it can. Practicing meditation disassociated from the body don't help as much as it can. I've often said this, not just getting enlightened from the eyebrows up, not just becoming a scholar of religion, not just studying about Buddhism. The mission here is transmission. It's been my intention for the last 35 years of my teaching career, let's say, to help provide the opportunity to make contact with these ancient yet timeless, liberating, enlightening teachings and wisdom and moral and ethical practices and attitude transforming trainings, opening the heart, awakening the mind. And even more so, provide some of the immersion that I was lucky to experience in my younger decades, mostly in Asia, so that we could go on together on the high ground, inclusive, connected, sane, non-aggressive, non-violent, if you like, ahimsa. So important in this violent and uncertain, agitated world today. And experience for ourselves inner peace, harmony, inner and outer and beyond. So thank you for gathering today. It's a beautiful day, as always. Every day is beautiful on this side of the grass, as they say. It's a beautiful Sunday here. I just got back from my morning swim in Walden Pond, the historic Walden Pond that Henry David Thoreau lived next to for 2 years and wrote his classic early pre-Buddhist book, Walden, about being a solitary contemplative and listening to the ice crack at night on Walden Pond here in the woods of Concord, Mass, outside of Boston. Such a blessed place. And the early transcendentalists like Thoreau and his mentor, Ralph Waldo Emerson, were the earliest philosophers. I think of them as the earliest Buddhists predating Buddhism in this country. As Thoreau said, I'd rather sit on a pumpkin than a throne. These were like Zen people, Zen practitioners, masters in their own way. And it's such an opportunity to share with them in this river of teachings. In fact, Thoreau, and I never get tired of reading these guys. There were a few gals involved too, Margaret Fuller and others. Thoreau said that Walden Pond was connected to the Ganges. Yes, that's a quote. You can read it. He was the first translator of the Lotus Sutra into English. Thoreau, yes. He and Emerson read the Hindus, as they spelled it with 2 O's, the Hindus, even back then in 1830s and 40s. They were cosmopolitan spirits beyond isms and the inevitable schisms that arise from partisanship. So here we are. It's a beautiful Sunday here in the lakeland of the early bodhisattvas, for whom simplicity and genuineness was a great virtue. It's a lesson for us all, especially in these high-tech, over-information, fake news eras. So challenging to try to sort out what's true, what's real, and how to be, how to live, how to find what we seek. Because as I always say, and we don't hear this enough, I'm afraid, seekers must become finders, not be seekers their whole life like the eternal graduate student. who never leaves campus. Get a life, man. So next week is Father's Day. Every day is a day that we are grateful to those who raised us and brought us into the world and introduced us and taught us, and our benefactors and family and teachers and mentors and each other. In Buddhism, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are equal reliances, equal refuges. We find reliance or refuge in Buddha, the archetype, the symbol, the archetype personifying enlightenment, awakefulness, the wise and loving, unselfish, true life of freedom and possibility. Buddha. And Dharma, the liberating path and practices. And Sangha, companion spirits, kindred spirits on the way. Equal reliances, refuge, sanctuaries. A port, safe port in the stormy waves of samsara, of worldliness, confusion, and delusion. So we practice, we meditate, we bring it into life. We practice the 10 transcendental virtues, the Panacean virtues of the Bodhisattva, the awakener, the spiritual leader, the Bodhisattva, the spiritual activist, the Bodhisattva, the compassionate altruist, the 10 virtues. And we especially learn to transform our attitude and move from me to we, and beyond selfishness to inclusivity, which has become a buzzword today. But let's get to the bottom of what that really means, and see through the barriers of separateness, not build walls around our heart, whether it's around our country, which is an immigrant-based country. How can we wall out other immigrants just because we're here now? My grandparents were immigrants too from Eastern Europe. It's also supposed to be the home of the free and the brave. I'd like to see a little more courage to speak truth to power, to push back against the powers that be and the corruption, the extreme partisanship that makes it so hard to accomplish anything here in our country, to deal with pressing problems like the environment, which many of us consider the greatest problem in the world today. From the spiritual point of view, if we look deeper, we need to cultivate our own garden, think globally, but act locally, working on ourselves and each other. As Thoreau said, cultivate your own garden of 3 feet square or round. He went to jail in Concord as a conscientious objector way back then, way before the Civil War, because he didn't want to pay the war tax. For him, a person with his income, it was 1 cent, which was something in those days. You could buy something with a penny. He went to jail for that. He didn't want to pay taxes to the war effort. This is way before the Civil War, but just the military budget, let's call it, of those days. So where we make our stand is very important. And for us practitioners of contemplative practices like meditation and yoga and so forth, awareness cultivation practices, mindfulness, and the like, where we make our stand, where we sit, how we sit, when we sit, how we walk. What is our stance in life, our view, our outlook, not views and opinions, but our Weltanschauung, our Gestalt, our outlook, our worldview is so crucial and informs everything we do as we try to balance being and doing, balance alone and with others, balance body and mind, heart and soul, energy and spirit, all these polarities and aspects of our being, balance heaven and earth, as the Chinese philosophers call it, as we are the bridge between heaven and earth. Heaven, the sky is right here. It ain't up there. Let's not fool ourselves. And go beyond these dualisms and experience oneness, beyond the notions of oneness or noneness, shunyata, emptiness in weak translation. Things may be empty of the meaning or the conceptual meaning we ascribe to them, but this ain't nothing. It's really something, ain't it? That's the middle way philosophy of shunyata, which might as well be called the plenum void, not just emptiness, the womb of emptiness that gives birth to everything, the womb of all the Buddhas. Seeing through solidity, seeing through separateness, seeing through our concepts. You know, these days you can't believe whatever you read. Everybody knows that. I wish we knew it better. But who knows that you can't believe whatever you think? That's the next iteration. Things are not what they seem to be, nor are they otherwise. Last week somebody asked about that, so feel free to ask again. That's a tough Buddhist sutra saying to crack. Yes, things may be like a dream, a mirage, a sitcom, but they're real enough when they involve our loved ones and ourselves, or our family member has COVID, when our children have cabin fever after being bottled up for a year and a half and missing their posse, their outlets, the outdoor energy, their peer group. And some of us feel that way too. So now things are loosening up, at least around here. We can think about the rest of the world. When we talk about herd immunity, I think about how hard that would be for the whole world, not to mention, just even here in our first world country, here in North America, also on our continent. But we do what we can. We take care of ourselves and each other. We love life in all its forms. We love this life. We love our life. We love each other. Hopefully we love ourselves too, and not just in a egotistical or narcissistic way. But we have some self-worth, some dignity, some self-esteem. That's the middle way, not all or nothing. Not getting rid of the ego, but translocating from the way back burner where our true self and the better angels of our highest nature live to the front burner, translocating from the ego, putting that on the back burner, and just having some facility of moving between. We need to have a healthy, individuated adult ego and take care of ourselves and each other and deal with variety and diversity and the many, as well as have the third eye vision, the non-dual vision, not just the dualistic vision of depth perception and the eyes, but the non-dual vision, the third eye, it's metaphorically called, of oneness, of wholeness, of unity, recognizing unity and diversity, like the mandala principle, the holograph, the wholeness that we're all part of, and that's all complete in each and all of us, not just a tiny cog in the wheel. That's why the masters of all the traditions say it is all within. Look deeper. It doesn't mean it's only in me or in you beautiful people here in this gathering today. All beings are endowed with the luminous Buddha nature, the animating spirit, whatever you want to call it, the Christos, the spark, divine spark. Check it out. When you see the light in everyone and everything, then who can we abuse? Who can we exploit? Who can we harm? This is part of the mind training, or in Tibetan, Lojong, maybe better translated as attitude transformation, mind training. Sociologists tell me means brainwashing. Also, it's so mental. What about the emotions and the heart and the habits and psychophysical things we have to deal with, our ruts and conditioning? So attitude transformation, spiritual refinement, Lojong. And it's great practice, a sort of advanced practice called Tonglen, exchanging self and others. You can read about that in my books and elsewhere. When we practice that, we instruct in that in retreats and longer events than this. Tonglen, check it out. Which isn't just a healing practice, as some people think, but it heals the inner conflicts where we're divided against ourselves. Tonglen means sending and receiving. It uses the breath, etc., and visualization, but it also uses our intention and our samadhi, our focus, concentration, since intention is so important, not just action. And Tonglen helps us exchange self and others and put ourselves in the other's place and see through their eyes. We might then empathize better with where they're coming from and why they have their own opinion different than ours. As I've said, it's helped me a lot to be able to practice like that and to see through the other's eyes and even to agree to disagree, and eventually, to work on the great attitude transformation that Jesus called love thy neighbors, that Buddhists call the teacher, the the enemy, the critic, the challenge, the crisis can be the greatest teacher. That's called love thine enemies. It's challenging. And let's not focus on the word enemy here. COVID could be our enemy. It doesn't mean, necessarily a person or some kind of animal that you're afraid of. Eventually, when we exchange self and others, when we transform our attitude, when we move from me to we, with the bigger embrace, concentric circles of self-compassion and empathy and loving our loved ones, and then out to our friends and colleagues and neighbors, and out to even those we don't know or acquaintances, and even out to all the people on the planet, all 7 billion or whatever we're up to, and also the animals and insects, birds and fish, all beings endowed with the luminous Buddha nature, the Buddha potential, with or without the foreign word Buddha and the concept of religion. Life is precious, handle with prayer. Everybody cares about their loved ones. Even the animals protect their young and the smaller ones. Nothing gets me more angry than seeing big, I'm gonna use the word ones here. I'm not just talking about animals, big ones picking on, lording it over the small ones or the underdog. Again, evening out, equalizing self and other, exchanging self and other, however you want to translate it. It's part of Tonglen. It's something we can all consider and think about. We all have loved ones, hopefully, and those who love us, alive or dead. Love is greater than death. Amen. It still goes on. I was reading Martin Buber, the seminal modern Jewish philosopher, who wrote I and Thou, a classic world mysticism, not just seeing others as it, what can I get from it, what's it going to do to me, but as thou, seeing the divinity in each and all and treating them accordingly. I, thou. Martin Buber says, the dead don't go anywhere. Where would they go? He's talking about loved ones, like the death of parents and family, but by extension, it's a very interesting idea, beyond coming and going. Now, if you want to study Buddhism, we think about the innate nature, our true nature, the animating principle of spirit as unborn and undying. You can read about it in the scriptures. This is not something we talk about that much in American Buddhism, American Dharma, the mindfulness traditions and so on. But Buddha said he discovered deathless peace, nirvana, deathless ease. Not just impermanence. So there's a real refuge there if we could sink deeper, if we can look deeper, if we can settle into it. Beyond death. Recently, somebody asked me, and I have a lot of friends who are graying or passing on, going up, as I like to say, whatever that means. Passing out, maybe. I mean, dying and aging or losing the marbles. And it's sad, but it's also beautiful because being with them is as meaningful or more meaningful than ever. It's so fleeting and evanescent, and I appreciate their true qualities, whether they have all of their intellect or memory or, empire around them or not anymore. And then they're gone, but they're not gone. Like my late wife, I still feel with. My parents also, not that they're haunting me, but where would they go? I'm not an orphan. I still have parents, even though they're gone these decade or two. Love is greater than death. Amen, as a good book says. This is the deathless ease that we can take refuge in even right now. Thus, taking our stance, taking our seat, assuming our Buddha seat. You want Dzogchen teachings? Assume your Buddha seat. Nothing else to do, nowhere to go, nothing missing, nothing extra to get rid of. It's too simple. So we can't understand it. We overlook it. We miss out. It's so complicated. Who can be that simple and just breathe? That's the basic practice of enlightened living, folks. Just breathing with some consciousness, not being a member of any group, not crossing your legs, crossing your fingers, crossing your eyes and hoping to get enlightened if you don't think long enough. It's not about not thinking. It's about who's the thinker. What's the true nature? Who's trying to meditate and why? Where are you trying to go? Excuse the shotgun questions. Where are we trying to go? What are we after? What are we lacking, if anything? What are we lacking, if anything? What's keeping us from it with a capital T right now? Small I, of course, capital T. What's keeping us from it right now, whatever we call it? So many names, the thousand faces of that. God, for lack of a better placeholder word. The thousand faces of Buddha also. Thus, infinite numbers of Buddhas. I'm not going to say infinite gods. We'll get confused with that word in English. Infinite numbers of Buddhas, infinite number of beings. Any mathematicians here? What do two infinites mean? Totally interpenetrating, overlapping. The unity and diversity. So how do we take our stance? How do we take our Buddha seat? Not just pretending. Sure, it's a good practice to fake it till you make it. That's one of the secrets of visualization practice, which even scientists have found visualization has a lot of helpful properties, and it's practiced in hospitals and elsewhere by performance coaches and many people, not just mystics and artists, creators. Because there's such power of mind, of awareness, of intention, of concentration, the things that we cultivate. But what's keeping us from it right now? What could be better than this? I was in the lake. I was in the lake up to my neck, as I often do. You know, sometimes I swim around like a little fish or a big fish, as the case may be. I love snorkeling. Anybody snorkel? I haven't graduated to diving yet. I know Menla's and her husband's are great divers. They found the pearl of great price as a couple. Snorkeling, you go under the water and you start moving about like a fish and you start to forget that you're a person. And all you can hear is the breathing. I'm going to exaggerate. I hope you can hear this. What could be a more natural meditation than that? It's so prominent, you can't miss it. And the body's just wriggling a little like a fish. You don't have to be waving your arms and kicking to speed here and there to, optimize the visions of the little colorful creatures under there or whatever you're looking at. Breathing, the main practice of genuine living. Who can argue with that? You can take that to the bank, as they used to say. So how can we replicate that, like even now, just sitting, just breathing, just being, and forgetting whether we're a, gender, whether we're male or female, or one of the 5, or somebody told me they're up to 80 different genders and subgenders that people are talking about today. Forget about your gender, your nationality, your size, even your species. Forget that you're a person looking for the colorful fish and coral reefs and other interesting things under there, and just breathing and just with wonderment, the eyes open and everything, letting everything else go. I mean, it's all washed away if you snorkel long enough, or if you know how to settle into it. It's not really a matter of time, it's quantity of breaths, for instance, a matter of quality of attention and awareness. attention, intention, awareness. That's the whole game of the path of enlightenment. So if you listen carefully, we've covered several classic teachings and some other comments. I'm not going to review because it's not a study session. So now sit on your seat. I know you're already there. But I can see the bodies of here, but has the mind fully arrived and the energy? Collect yourself. That's one of the meanings of mindfulness. Sati in the original language of Buddhism, Pali. Smriti in Sanskrit, the language of Mahayana Buddhism. Mindfulness, recollectedness, remindfulness, I like to call it. Remembering to remember what you're doing while you're doing it. Mindfulness, choiceless, non-reactive, moment-to-moment, present awareness. Mindful rather than mindlessly sleepwalking, stumbling, staggering through life, having all kinds of stubbed toes and so-called accidents from lack of attention, from heedlessness. So take your stance. Let's breathe truth to power right now. Assume your Buddha seat. What's keeping you from it right now? You don't even have to be a Buddhist. Who cares? Buddhism, Shmoodism. If I say be yourself, you'll say, oh, I didn't have to come all this way to hear that. I've been hearing that forever. Well, easier said than done. Who are we really? Upstream from our persona and character defenses, our habits and conditioning. Upstream, not just in the past, but now. Upstream from thoughts in pure consciousness. Objectless, object-free awareness, not just concentrating on a candle flame or the breath or a Buddha picture. So just sitting, just breathing, just being aware. That's the three meditators' jewels. Empty and open, shunyata, the Buddha, luminous, radiant, liberating, juicy Dharma teachings and practices. And third, Sangha, co-meditating, intermeditating, interbeing together. Three, deeper level of refuge, of finding sanctuary, of coming home to this safe port in the storm of delusion and confusion that is our life, that is our world. There is another life, another world, and it's right here. It's called the enlightened living. Buddha didn't say life is suffering. Simplistic translation, simplistic thinking. He said the unenlightened life is full of dukkha, dissatisfactoriness, dukkha, dysfunction. The example he gave was like the wobbling axle of a cart that's not balanced. The axle creaks and groans and aches and creaks and whines and whistles and wears out because it's not balanced, it's not greased. So it means off kilter. The unenlightened life is off kilter. Let's come back to kilter, folks. Here it is. Just sitting erect, and not just your body. It's really not the body that needs to be erect. As the great yogic master Saraha said, as the archer, as the fletcher straightens out their arrows, the yogi straightens out their mind. So alignment, come back from off kilter right now. Come back and sit and rest in the still unmoved axis, not just the turning axle at the center of the hub with the spokes to the rim of the wheel of samsara, of becoming, of conditioning. Align yourself now with the unmoved stillness, the eye, the center of the storm, the unmoved axis, as if it's attached to the roof of your house or the roof of the firmament and to the center of the earth. Aligned, coming back from off kilter to a different life now. letting go of memory, which creates identity and selfhood, and all that goes with it, our entire narrative of our predicament, our situation. So subjective, shunyata, not what it seems to be, shunyata, empty of our concepts superimposed on things, shunyata. So subjective. Just sitting, breathing, relaxing and smiling. If you don't feel like smiling, go ahead, be a Grinch, just sitting, breathing, relaxing. If you can't relax, as some people tell me, just sit and breathe. I'm sure you can do that. You don't even have to sit, just breathe. In whatever posture you're in, that's very important. Quote, Buddhist practice. Don't leave home without it. Natural mind is Buddha mind, as 'tis said. The Dzogchen Meslong Chenpa said the six senses left in their natural state is the way of the natural great perfection, Dzogchen. There is nirvanic peace and things left just as they are. It's just a practice of letting go and letting be, of realignment, of coming back into balance from the off-kilter, delusory world of I want, I don't want, based on the illusion of separateness or duality. Alignment from the off-kilter, flat tire wheel of samsara, of conditioning. This breath, only breath, this moment, only moment. Take it. Just sitting, just breathing, just being. How simple can we get? Kuntuzampo. That's the primordial Buddha echo. Everything is the echo of the primordial Buddha-ness, just as it is. So to simplify things, natural meditation, natural body, natural breath and energy, and third, natural mind. Just sitting, just breathing, just being present and attentive, aware. This is the way, the truth, and the light, friends. No need to overcomplicate it. Wherever you are, you may feel far from, quote, it with a capital T, but it ain't far from you. I guarantee it. It ain't apart from you. See for yourself. Seeing is freeing. Look deeply. Enjoy the natural meditation, natural great perfection, things left just as they are. Dzogchen in you. Buddha in you. Divine peace here now. Enjoy the joy of natural meditation. In the whole. Sati also means friendliness, openness, welcoming whatever arises in consciousness, part of mindfulness. Not much talked about. Open awareness, friendly, accepting, equanimous, enjoying, even with the wonderment of a child for whom everything is new. This moment, look at that puddle. I'm going to jump in it all afternoon. Imaho, wondrous, eureka, hallelujah, yes, imaho. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Oh, mani padme hum, mani padme hum, mani padme hum. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Emptying out all 6 realms of samsara. Oh, mani padme hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum, with the 6-syllable mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, mantra number 3. Om Mani Padme Hum. I'm adding Hri at the end. Om Mani Padme Hum. For rhythm, Om Mani Padme Hum, as is traditional. Om Mani Padme Hum. Diving even into the lowest realms, the bodhisattva is like the white geese into a lake, bringing it all up from the muddy depths. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. If you look at the pictures of the Wheel of Samsara, there's a Buddha image in each of them, according to their own perceptions or needs. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. In each realm, Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. A Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. A Buddha animal, Buddha fish, Buddha insect. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buddha invisible beings. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buddha God. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buddha goddess. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Buddha human. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Of all kinds and colors. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. It's Buddha all the way down, as they say. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buddha Buddha. Da. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buddha Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Be compassionate to yourself. Self-compassion. Read the book by Chris Gurma, Self-Compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all beings be happy, content, fulfilled, healed, and free. Om Mani Padme Hum, including me. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all be harmed from danger and fear. May all be safe and secure. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. This is how you play with prayers. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. All of us together, not just me. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. All one family, one satsang, one sangha, one beloved community. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. One samaya, one inextricable bond of love and commitment, care. Om Mani Padme Hum. Samaya. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all be liberated, awakened, and free. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Oh, I think the needle is stuck. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 It's going to wear right through the Akashic record here. The vinyl. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Just joking around. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Singing is believing. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Why hold back? Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Go for it. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Just hung out. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Hanging out. Oh yeah. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Mani man never stops. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 The news, good and bad, just keeps rolling in like waves, but the Mani man never stops. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. You can read that story in the Snow Lion's Turquoise Mane. Om Mani Padme Hum. The Mani man. Om Mani Padme Hum with illustration. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Emptying the six realms of samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Realizing the entire trichilocosm, the three realms, the three lokas, the entire threefold world is the Trikaya, the three Buddha dimensions. Om Mani Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Even kaleshas, obscurations, and defilements arise as pure awareness display. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Love for all beings who are just like us, who want and need the same and are pursuing it through different ways. Om Mani Padme Hum. Love for all beings with whom we are inseparably interconnected. Om Mani Padme Hum, interdependent, interwoven, interbeing, mysteriously. Om Mani Padme Hum, infinitely. Om Mani Padme Hum, going past and future. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. One mandala, like the net of Indra, in which each being is like a shining mirror-like diamond in the net of woven interconnectedness, the net of Indra, the divine web. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Each being a diamond-like mirror reflecting all the others, or containing all the others. Om Mani Padme Hum. All the light and energy universe in each interstices, in each being, in each diamond-like mirror. Thus, the diamond path of Vajrayana. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, of the clear light by which we see and are seen. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, beyond birth and death, unborn and undying, deathless Dharmakaya, clear light. Om Mani Padme Hum, luminosity, the brilliance of original mind or true nature. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 I bow to the Buddha, or whatever you call it, in your seat. Don't overlook them in the home. How sweet it is this beautiful day. What a gift. What a present in the home. Do we have any announcements or anything? I'm sorry, I didn't leave room for questions today.
Yes, Lama, I would like to invite everyone on today to join us for our annual summer retreat. These retreats have been going on since, the summer one's been going on since 1993. So hope that you will sign up and join us. It's Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, July 3rd to 25th. And I just put that in the chat. And you can sign up through the website. And I know that those announcements come out on the weekly Words of Wisdom, as well as the other announcement page that comes out each week. So there we go, it's in the chat. So please join us if you can on that weekend, and it will be virtual. Also, thank you for your donations to Jill for her speech, and I hope that you will donate to help our foundation, help our Lama keep his mission of transmission going. Also, become a member as well. Do both, do it all. And thank you for joining us this week. We hope to see you every Sunday at Meditation Town Hall. Thank you, Lama, for your time.
You're very
Have
welcome.
a great day.
Thank you, Menla, and to all of you. Gratitude and appreciation to one and all, just for being and being here together. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Happy trails, safe travels. Stay sane and safe. Imaho.